Ooh, mailman brought me a new toy. Okay, so some of you might recognize this piece. It's one of my favorite drawings so far, but there's actually a really big boo-boo on there that drives me nuts every time I look at it. If you look carefully on his comb, like one of the focal points of the whole picture, you can see where I didn't plan very far ahead, and I've got areas where the yellow is smudged out by the blue. It's just, I didn't plan very well at all. So I have been waiting for this stuff to be available in Australia so I can try and fix that. But I think I might have a little practice first. So I started off by creating a base layer of colour in the same muted turquoise colour that I'd used in the picture that I intend to fix. I created an area which is layered and blended with thinners the same way that I'd done the picture. And just for experiment's sake, I created an area which I really heavily burnished down to the point that I'd crushed all of the tooth out of the paper. I applied a small patch of the touch-up texture to each area of colour, and then I mixed a very small amount of the titanium white up into the texture mixture. The first mixture I applied was a little thin. The mixture became less opaque as it dried. So I tried adding another coat, but this kind of made it a little bit too thick, and I found that the areas where I'd built up these multiple layers flaked off quite easily when they'd dried. I made another mixture which had a higher ratio of titanium white to the touch-up texture, which had a much better result. But it was a particularly rainy, dreary day, and I think I was a little bit impatient waiting for it to dry. Most of the tutorials and instructions that I've seen said to wait about 15 minutes, but there were areas that were still not fully set after about 30 minutes, especially where I had placed on some thicker layers. When I felt that it was actually dry, I started to experiment by adding the colour over the top. Oh yeah, baby, bright yellow over a blue background. That's just what I've been waiting for. So I was pretty happy with these experiments, and I thought I had a better handle of how to use this stuff. So I felt confident about using it on my good drawing. Kind of confident, yeah. Okay, no stress. We'll see what I can do about fixing this. I've taken lots of photos and I have lots of scanned images of this. So if I do completely ruin it, it's not lost forever. Let's see how we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is mix up a fresh batch. Now I know this time that I need to add more powder to less liquid, so it's a nice sort of strong mix. Okay. This is just a little bit lumpy. Don't know if it's meant to be that way. Sort of adding a little bit at a time, because I think you could definitely very easily pour too much out, and that would be a terrible waste. Okay, try that on this piece here. That's nice and strong, maybe just a little bit more. I don't want to make it chunky. Okay, I think that's it. Just one more quick test. Shows up better on the camera, so I'm going to check it out that way. Yeah, okay. Okay, no time like the present, hey. I'm going to spin this around, just so I'm pulling the paintbrush towards myself. I think that'll make making the marks easier. And a few little practice goes. Yeah. Come on, Cass, be brave. Let me see. Yeah, I can rub it off if I need to, if I make a big boo-boo. Okay. I'm not stalling. Who's stalling? What are you talking about? Okay. Now I can't just have it in on the tip there because then it won't balance. So I need to... Okay, move that around so I'm pulling the brush towards myself. Now, it took about half an hour for my test to dry, so I know I've got a little bit of time to work with here. I'm not as stressed about rushing that I thought I might be. Okay. Okay. That's pretty much what I wanted. This little rigging brush is working really well. Okay, that was a really straight edge, so I don't want to put anything on that side. The cockatoo feathers, they're really straight on one side and really fluffy on the other, so... Okay. Oh, that's a bit much. Yep, I like that. Ridge up there. Oh yeah, fixing my mistakes. Okay, towards me. Oh, just a little bit in there. Not too much because that has a decent amount of shadow there. Thick. No, don't get sloppy, don't get sloppy. Sort of easy to slip into, oh, I know what I'm doing, that's fine. Okay, well, it's getting a little bit stiff here, so I might just put in a tiny, tiny drop more touch-up texture into that mix. Okay, so it's going on really easily. I'm no painter. I definitely don't have a lot of skill with the paintbrush. With this is going on very easily. Yeah. Okay. I'll look through the camera because sometimes it's easier for me to tell contrast and things like that through this lens. Okay, just around this way a bit more, go down this ridge once more. Alrighty. Alrighty, let's see. And this is where I want the detail to be. It's the only part of the picture over this side. Very careful, not too much, not too much, just texture at this point. Alrighty, I think that's it. I'm going to let that dry, and just for safety's sake, I'm going to leave that for well over half an hour, just to make sure. And then I'll come back and I'll try and get some yellow over the top of that. And hopefully this will be just as I always wanted it to be. And there you have it. That's how it was always meant to be. Thank you, Aliona. This stuff is magical. It was so worth waiting for. If you'd like to buy some of this magical stuff yourself, I'll leave a link down in the description to the brush and pencil site, and I'll also leave a link to the site where it's now available for purchase in Australia. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please leave a like or a comment to tell me what you think, and if you'd like to see some more of my work, why not hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys.